ban ba ba ban 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 ban.
Tom, 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 tom.
Welcome,
Welcome back.
welcome back.
Did it?
We's Gobbos.
We is Gobbos.
A Dapper Duck donates $5. Thank you, Dapper Duck.
Thank you.
And they say, "Good eve, Grebo and Fleebo."
Close enough.
So that's us. So obviously, elves are the worst.
Yeah.
But if there were a sci-fi, if there were a sci-fi / fantasy race beside humans that you personally identify with or love the most, what would it be?
Ooh.
I love dwarves in basically every facet of media, for example. Okay. I generally quite like big, dumb dunguses.
Big dumb dumbus.
I like ogrins. I think they're kind of cool. I like ogres in fantasy.
Yeah.
Groblins are great.
That's fair.
And I don't know if I love the grots themselves as much in the orc army, because I think the orcs kind of really steal the thunder out of away from
Yeah.
Gretchen.
That's true. Well, the Gretchen don't have as much going on as goblins do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Goblins have got their own. You could do an all goblin army. You can't do an all grot army. Doesn't work.
About a lot of kind of converting and counts as.
Yeah. They're way more of like a subservient race than in fantasy, where they're their own thing.
Yeah. But they were cool in Gorka Morka.
Yeah.
But I don't know, other fantasy races.
I always love skeletons. Like if there's a skeleton necromancer kind of faction in a game, I'll always play that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of sort of undead sort of stylings. I think is always kind of cool. You don't really get that as much in 40k. Like Necrons are sort of meant to be the closest.
They are the closest, but they don't do it for me in the same way.
Yeah, and they're kind of different.
Yeah, they're their own thing, but they are kind of they're space undead with extra bells and whistles, which is cool, but it doesn't tickle the same bones for me.
But I do quite like dwarves. I've always quite liked dwarves. They're one of the first Warhammer armies that we were properly playing. I like the sillier ones.
I've noticed. You definitely don't like the ones who take themselves very seriously.
No,
like elves and Eldar.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Protoss?
They're okay. I think it's I like the kind of the Protoss play style more than them themselves, because to me they were just Eldar.
Yeah. I really like the Protoss. I like their aesthetic a lot.
Yeah. I think all of the StarCraft races are great. They all feel very different to each other. Have great aesthetic style. Big fan. Then StarCraft was definitely more of a Zerg player. I like that sort of vibe. I think I quite like Hordes. Hordes or very few big dumb things. Like that. I like extremes, maybe is the better way to put it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. Whatever I think looks cool.
Big dungus.
Big dumbuses.
Yeah. I can get behind
Weaselly little pricks.
Perfect. Yeah.
Gobbos.
A combination of those two, merge them together, and that's kind of the vibe. I don't know. I think the way I kind of would describe it is more. I really like underdog.
Factions. You never play as the big established superpower.
Or
the
just
cool guys.
Races or creatures that have massive inherent flaws that they have to overcome. They have to deal with, and so goblins, they have to deal with that by either mass numbers or schemes. And that I really like that sort of style. Or the big idiots. Generally, they deal with it by just being bigger and stronger.
No, I know what you mean though.
But yeah, people that have just huge inherent drawbacks. The idea of, just being, when it's just a space marine, when they're the fastest and the strongest and technically the best and the best equipped. and they've got more strategies, and
Yeah, it's not so fun.
it's
is
like
it?
I just don't latch onto that nearly as much as something a bit like sillier.
Yeah, that makes sense. I always love a faction that's like fallen from grace, like like lizard men or admech, where eons ago they had it all sorted out, but now they're just kind of like, what does this do?
Yeah. That's kind of like fun.
You know, because the lizard men technically have like interdimensional space travel and super force field generators and all this stuff. But they're basically on par with all the other fantasy medieval races because they don't know how it all works.
They don't really know how it works, and they're a bit lost and confused now. And the people who do sort of know how that works, they're either dead or asleep.
And so they're just like, well, I guess we just carry on.
We just keep doing the same repeating pattern and just hope for the best.
Yeah, exactly. And the admech are a lot alike. They just follow what the ratings say. Like, well, if you push all these buttons and you sing the magic song, it should work.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed.
Kind of cool.
If anyone ever forgets the magic song, I guess we're fucked.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a fun vibe.
Lizard Men are Tom and Ben wants TJ leave. Honestly, they're not.
It's true. Tom does have to sing the end stream song at the end.
Yeah. I have to go in there and work out what the fuck is going on. Well, I think we're even worse than that. We're like, I don't know, do the Southlands Lizard Men, do they have slan?
They do, but not the real old cool ones.
Because, we're lizards without a slan.
Yeah.
Just like, I guess you jerk off into the spawning pool.
But it looks like they did before.
Pretty sure that's what they did. We have no idea. I don't understand any of these runes.
I can't even. Yeah, I'm the skink attendant that can't even read the magic plates.
Yeah.
And he's just like, well, the pictures look like this.
This. Yeah. Kind of that. Yeah, they're cool. They're cool boys.
Yeah, I do. As much as I want new Lizardmen stuff so I can carry on loving Lizardmen, part of me does worry that they'll just ruin all the lore and make them worse in every way.
Well, already now they're all ghosts who are dreamt of by like a frog in space.
Oh, that's
so
true. Yeah, they've already kind of been ruined, haven't they?
They're a bit like intangible now. But thank you, a dapper duck. Those are some of our favorite races. Billy Ballasaw donates $5. Thank you, Billy Ballasaw. They say, Bon, I hope you're having a good evening. I've been thinking about upgrading to a more expensive airbrush. Do you have any recommendations? Hugs and kisses. What do we have?
It's the only airbrush I've ever had, so the only one I can recommend. It's called an Iwata Revolution.
Yeah.
And pretty good, to be honest. I have no need for another.
Yeah, I did use a much cheaper one before. And yeah, the Revolution, it's been amazing. I really have been enjoying using it.
Yeah, it's not super cheap, but it's also not super expensive in terms of airbrushes.
Yeah, for
like
sure. Oh my god, yeah, you could be spending
hundreds and hundreds of pounds.
So much more. But yeah, it was very good. Also, as another sales pitch for it, heard that the people at Weta Workshop, they use that as their like standard airbrush.
Yeah, not their super fancy fine detail one, but to do the bulk of their work.
It's their like workhorse airbrush, and was like, if that is their go-to, that every single one of them uses that as just.
That's a really good sign, isn't it?
And clearly they will have experimented around with a lot of different ones, and you have a lot of like fancy creatives. But yeah, personally, I found it great. Highly recommend.
Yeah, would recommend.